Alright guys, what is going on? So we have a super exciting video because we're back with the red Galaxie again. I cannot express how excited I am to work on this car again finally. It feels like it's been forever, but we're actually getting ready to put this car back on its own weight for the first time in over a year. That's crazy to think about. We've had a lot of different projects come into the channel since the last time we worked on this car, but I think it's definitely time to get my attention back to this car and hopefully get this car back on the road in the upcoming months. So we have a really cool Aldan American front suspension we're going to be installing on this car. So we got laid out in the garage. So hopefully after that, the whole car can go back on its own weight. So let's go back in the garage and check everything out we got from Aldan American. So basically what we got going on the bench is this is actually a GM Conversion Coilover Kit, but this actually coincidentally enough works really well on the Galaxie. So this kit comes with an adjustable shock. You can see the adjustment right there, as well as the actual coil springs right here. So basically this guy is our coilover mount. It slides over this and lands right here, and then it goes into the stock coil bucket up on this side of the flange. Our lower shock bolts bolt in the stock location. Uppers do the same, and it's pretty much just like you see it. It's just slide it in and bolt it in. It should be a very simple install and it should go really well. It comes with all of our necessary hardware that we need right here. We have some extra shims and mounting plates in here, and then there you can see right there, those are all the parts that we are going to be installing on this thing, hopefully to get everything to work. We have also in this box, we have our adjustable adjustment tool. This guy opens and closes depending on the size of your adjustment. And we got some different size poly mounts in here, as well as the adjustment bearing shim pieces in here. So these allow us to have a bearing in there when we're adjusting the actual coilover. So there's a lot of cool stuff in this kit. I'm really thankful for Aldan American for helping me out with this Galaxie. This has been a long time coming thing, so I'm really excited. So I'll have the links to all this stuff we're about to install, as well as many more things. We actually do make a Crown Vic Suspension Kit for your F100 if you're Crown Vic swap. That was the kit that we took to SEMA, that the guys at Aldan American and myself worked very closely with to go ahead and actually manufacture a kit for you guys if you want to do a coilover conversion on your Crown Vic suspension, on your F100, or just a Crown Vic in general. We have a kit for you, so I'll leave the links down below for that, as well as the kit for the Galaxies. So be sure to go down and check out their website. They have a wide range of products for not just these cars, as well as GM products, Dodge products, a lot of different cars they make, and they have a bunch of options in spring race down below. And if you don't know what you want, you can call them and actually get a setup on the phone. They'll walk you through the whole process. A lot of cool stuff from them. And as the name states, everything that Aldan American makes is USA made, so you can be sure you're getting the highest quality product right the first time. So I'm going to go ahead and split the upper ball joint on the Galaxie, lower the control arm down, mock this kit up, and it should actually slide into place a lot easier than compressing that big giant stock spring that we had. So let's get right into it. So like I showed in the last video, these are 69 Galaxie spindles and brakes, the factory discs that I got from my buddy Oscar. But look at the amount of steering angle this thing actually produces. I mean, that's pretty darn impressive for, you know, any sort of 60s car to get that kind of steering angle. And that's basically locked out. You can see the amount of steering angle from the front. It actually is like pretty much like drift car spec. Like I could drift this thing with that kind of steering angle. That's not bad. I mean, think about the car is facing right at you with the steering. Look at how sideways the thing is. I mean, that's not bad. That is pretty good. Pretty good. This upper ball joint nut is just hand tight, so I'm gonna go ahead and jack the thing up, just split that, lower it, and then this whole kit should pretty much just slide right in. I can't see why it would be nearly as difficult as the other one, because our stock coil spring is actually this size. I mean, it's twice as tall, so I have to compress this thing down to the size of the other one because this is a softer spring rate, and it's not a coilover, obviously. So this will be way easier with the new coil spring because of how much shorter this thing is. I don't have to compress it at all. Just slide it right in this thing. so here's what I ended up doing. So you can see it's all mocked up now. We have a flat little base. So they give you 3/8 hardware, which is bigger than the stock stuff. So if you go over to this side on a Galaxie, the only difference is this is not a flat base. So what I did is you can actually see, you saw me kind of just pop these guys off. They're just little tiny spot welded pieces. So you can actually just thread the existing bolt in, just wiggle it back and forth, and it'll pop these guys right off. And then I just took a 3/8 drill bit, because I think this is about 5/16. It's not really that far off. So I just kind of reamed it out a little bit, hollowed it out, and then the bolts just slide right into place like you see over here. And then it has that coilover mounting plate that it sits on. Everything's super solid going all the way up to the top. It does cycle pretty well. You can see it's probably right just about ride height, maybe a little bit higher. You can see as it droops out, everything cycles like it should, which is awesome. So that's pretty great, pretty happy with that. So this car's really starting to come together in terms of suspension. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the actual spring mocked up in this thing and actually hopefully get one side put together. Before we go ahead and slide the actual spring over the coilover body, we're going to go ahead and install these spanner bearings. So basically the spanner nut bearings, basically we slide these right over the actual spot where the spring mounts. And what this allows us to do is actually spin this adjustment nut and allow the coil to sit on it and allow it to move left and right so this thing doesn't get stuck. And allow it to be much easier to adjust my coilovers on the fly. If I want to raise or lower the ride height, I just stick this tool, open it up, and put this right on the edge, and then this guy will spin just freely while the spring is up to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these apart real quick, put some grease in these guys, put them back together, and then just slip them over here, get the spring on it, and get it back in the car. Alright, so you can see we've got the one side installed. It actually went in pretty easily, as you guys saw, so really no modification besides just drilling out this bottom piece. Everything else just bolts right in. You can see the top part's just like stock. There's nothing really crazy here. It just comes in and then you pretty much just throw a nut on it and it's ready to go. And then you can see the adjustments on the outside. So if I want to stiffen this, I would just turn it clockwise. Loosen it, I'd turn it counterclockwise. I can just reach in there whenever when I'm driving and just adjust it on the fly, which is really cool. You can see the disc brakes in there now. This thing's really coming together, that's for sure. Definitely happy with the way that looks. So that was kind of my trial side to figure out how everything went together. So I'm gonna go ahead and time lapse the other side just to show you guys how easy this thing is to actually install from start to finish. All right guys, so I think our next order of business, hands down for me at least, because I haven't seen this thing on the ground in a year, is to put the steering components or what I have for it back in the car and hopefully get it back on its own weight. I just want to see it on its own weight, and I know it doesn't have an engine in it, and so the suspension won't actually accurately show the ride height, but just to see the car on its own weight again will be awesome. And I think that'll give us a smooth transition into doing some of the metal work on fixing the roof and working on the interior, and then possibly getting a roll cage put in this car in the future. So there's a lot of cool stuff I want to share with you guys later. So I'm gonna go ahead and get basically roll out all the steering parts on the workbench, get all the bushings pressed in, and hook everything up and just mock it all up just to where we can have some steering in this car to get it on a trailer to do some future work to this thing. So let's get into it. So I have everything to go on in the steering, but I'm missing the 2 bushings for the idle arm. One that goes to the drag link here, that bushing presses in right there, and then the other one slides into the idle arm mount that goes on the frame. I'm missing those 2. I bought 2 for the white Galaxie, but I didn't buy 2 more for this car because I'm stupid. So I'm missing those. Unfortunately, I can't put the steering in. There's absolutely no point. But it is nice because there's no engine, which means I can basically just stand in the engine bay when the car's in the ground and just put the steering in. And it won't be that hard at all because I'm missing, you know, the hardest thing you have to work around. So I'm going to put the car on the ground anyways, just so I can feel good about today and see what it looks like it's on its own weight on a nice set of wheels. So yeah. Oh dude, this is so cool. Alright guys, I don't want to give too much away, but there's some front sheet metal in the car. The car's on its own weight. Woo, this makes me excited. I have not seen this thing on its own weight in over a year. I've not seen front sheet metal in the car in well over a year. I haven't seen... this is so cool. I'm so excited. God, I can't even express how like this makes me feel. There's no motor in it or anything, but God, that looks cool. It's so motivating. But anyways, I just wanted to give a massive thank you to Aldan American. Without those guys, none of this would have been possible. This car would still be up on jack stands with the control arms hanging down from it, and it'd just be a long, ongoing project that would never end. So keep in mind, Aldan American sells a lot of different products for a lot of different vehicles. So everything from F100s to Camaros. You can find all sorts of autocross stuff to make your ride handle like it's a brand new car again. So definitely go down to the link, check those guys out. Remember, those are the same guys that sent me down to SEMA last year. Absolutely life-changing company, absolutely great group of guys. Garrett and Gary over there, amazing group of guys to work with. I really enjoy working with them, and they have literally changed my life in such a great way. So definitely support the companies that support me. Go down to the link in my description and check out their website and go shopping for your car. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I have a bunch of cool stuff we're going to be sharing in the upcoming weeks with this car as well as my truck, so stay tuned to that. Subscribe if you are new, hit the notification bell right by the subscribe button to get notified every single time I post a new video. I'll see you guys in the next video with this car. Bye guys.